Hello, good morning. How are you all doing today? Happy Tuesday today. Slightly different day than our previous streams, but this week we're going to be going with Tuesday, Thursday. I had some stuff I had to take care of yesterday, and tomorrow I'm also got some stuff that I can't necessarily stream around. Rigel, hello. How are you doing today? And Asitsu, hello. How are you? So the plan is that we're going to continue with the HTTP CodeCrafters course challenge. We finished the main part of the challenge last time, and now we're on to the extension, which is all about compression. I was going to say encryption, but that's not right. And compression. And after that's done, if we have time, we can start on the next project that I have lined up, or we'll just save it for Thursday. And it'll be fun. Everything's all good, Rigel? Excellent. That's good to hear. Okay, so let's actually take a look at what we're supposed to be doing here. So, compression headers. Welcome to the HTTP compression extension. In this extension, you'll add support for compression to your HTTP server. In this stage, you'll add support for the accept encoding and content encoding headers. Twisted Seed, hello. How are you doing today? Accept encoding and content encoding. An HTTP client uses the accept encoding header to specify the compression schemes it supports. In the following example, the client specifies that it supports the gzip compression scheme. Okay, so accept encoding gzip. Okay, that kind of makes sense. The server then chooses one of the compression schemes listed in accept encoding and compresses the response body with it. So I'm assuming this is like a comma-based list, like a stringified comma-based list. Then, okay, so then the server sends a response with the compressed body and a content encoding header. Content encoding specifies the compression scheme that was used. In the following example, the response body is compressed with gzip. So, content encoding, gzip. Okay, everything else is pretty much the same. If the server doesn't support any of the compression schemes specified by the client, then it will not compress the response body. Instead, it will send a standard response and omit the content encoding header. For this extension, assume that your server only supports the gzip compression scheme, which is perfectly fine. And I want to say, do we need to pull in a gzip library? I wonder if we need to do that. For this stage, you don't need to compress the body. Oh, okay. For this stage, we don't need to compress the body. You'll implement compression in a later stage. The tester will execute your program like this. The tester will then send two GET requests to echo string and point. First, the tester will send a request with this header, accept encoding gzip. Your server response must contain this header, content encoding gzip, with of course without the thing. So that's fine. Aluminum, hello. How are you doing today? And Fuforat, hello. How are you? Just want to thank you about the Axum.jot authentication video. Is really good. Helped you implement your application. Awesome. I'm glad that helped out. Is it ideal to use anyhow and this error together? Yeah, I'd say it is. Usually I would use this error to create a custom error, like maybe in an enum. And then anyhow as the result and bail and, you know, thing like handling the errors and the results directly in functions, this error is to generate maybe more like global application-wide errors. Although a lot recently, I haven't been using this error that much. I've just been like responding with generic errors or just like, oh, hey, it's like a one-off error. It's doing its thing and just put the message in there. So I could see going back and forth on something like that. But yeah, it's generally used together, and especially in a lot of examples online. All right, so we are going to receive a content type, no, a content not encoding, and accept encoding gzip. It says it's going to send 2 requests, right? First that, and then one without something, and it should just be nothing at all. So if we take a look at this, in our, is it request? I don't need to remember how this works. So it's not the routes. I think it's the request. Oh, and this actually just gets the headers and it stuffs them in there. Okay, so actually, you know what? This is just, we're probably going to do this all in the response, aren't we? Okay, so here's like, if we have the response, we figure out, we add in the headers, and we do all that stuff. And in, oh, I bet we need the request in here so I can get the headers out of it. That's what we're going to need. We're going to need the request. And with that, we can get the headers, which I wonder, I don't really feel a need to like grab that out early. Where do I respond with all this stuff? Okay, so where do I hit the headers? Response content like header, writing headers. Okay, so it's writing the protocol, then the response code, CRLF for headers. So this is the end of the headers right here. If the body is some, so I guess I don't have any other headers in here, so like it's probably right here. So I would essentially want to do an if let sum, and I want to see if we get that accept, the accept type, right? If let sum, what was it called? The accept encoding. And this is going to be the request headers get. Was this stored lowercase or uppercase? I think it was lowercase, right? To lowercase. Okay. So we're going to get accept encoding. Okay, so we get that. That'll give us a string, which is the value of it. If let sum, we do that. And if we don't have anything in here, we don't do anything, and it'll be fine. So then we check to see if this is gzip, because the only accepted body oh, and there's the body here. So this is just if we're doing this. Oh, okay. So I might want to pull this out so I can have access to accept encoding separately. Okay. So instead of if, we'll just do let sum equals this. Do an else. Should you be an option? If we make you an option, I just do that, you become an option with the string. And then I can grab out. So in here, then before we write the body, we would gzip this. So at this point, we would do if accept encoding is some and. This would be encoding. And I want encoding. I probably should 2 lowercase this, just in case. So if you're equal to 2 lowercase, that, then we're going to write out to the stream. And I believe it is not the content type. It is in content encoding. Yeah, I think it's that, right? Is it equals or is it colon? I think it's colon, right? It doesn't say. Oh, content type colon. Yeah, okay, so that's exactly it. So content type. Where am I? Response. And then this will be gzip, like that, which I need to context writing content encoding gzip header. You become that. But now I have accept encoding, so I can do this again over in body later. So this, I mean, I'm guessing that this should just work as is. And I kind of want to just test this and just see if it actually does the thing. So let's find out. You are, there it goes. What did we do? We added content encoding header response. And let's find out if this works. In the meantime, let's see. Oh, Rigel, do I have a video on how I configured my Alacrity and Helix? I don't know if I have a specific video of how I configured Alacrity and Helix, because I did configure them on stream, but I didn't like really turn it into a video. So it's kind of like over a couple different places. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I do have some configurations, but I think they might be out of date, the ones I have online. So I might need to redo those. We failed. What did you fail with? Let's make this bigger. How do I resize? There we go. Okay, so you download. Oh, yeah. Oops. Probably should have looked at errors first. That's the problem about not actually executing and running it, is to see that. Okay, so send response. We need the request to come in here, which I think we have the request, right? So I can just hand it the request. Ooh, because the request got moved into the router. So if possible, I'd like to make the request not take ownership. Oh, yeah, and that's just fine. I never needed ownership of the request in the router. I just gave it ownership because at the time I didn't need it. But we're okay now. No errors, no warnings. Let's try this again. So this is passing in the request to the response. I guess it's really module. And let's see if this works. Do I mind sharing that clip? The problem is I don't have a clip, and I don't remember when I did it in stream. It might have been like multiple streams too. So unfortunately, Rigel, I don't think I have that. At least not an easy way. But when this is done and we finish this step, I can show you what I have really quickly. It's actually really simple, and there's not really much that you need to do for Alacrity or for Helix. Crazy Frog, hello. How are you doing today? Things are going pretty good. Okay, build successful. Now it's run. Let's see if those work. Failed. So it ran. Accept encoding gzip. Headers, accept encoding gzip. Okay. So we got those. About to parse body, got body, none. Received, coding gzip. Oh, so I had the accept encoding gzip. Expected, oh, a CRLF after the header value, right. Forgot that you're supposed to have a CRLF after this. So RN, there, like that. Okay, let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, so now it passed those tests. Let's take an aside for you, Rigel, and we'll take a look at some Alacrity and Helix stuff. So first off, I guess one question is it just Alacrity and Helix, or is it also Zellage? Because we get all this, like the window management stuff, these down here and this up here, that is Zellage for me. Let's do, what do I have? Open up config for this. Config, Alacrity. So I was playing around with breaking them out because I think you actually can break these out into different files. I don't remember if I actually do that. But with my Alacrity toml file, which is that the new one? I think the Alacrity toml is the new one. This is all that I have in here. It's really simple. I basically just have live config reload true. So if I make any changes to this, it does the thing. I import the font, so I can change that to be whatever I want at any time, and it just sort of does the thing. And then I set like some environment variables in here as opposed to my ZSHRC. Sort of playing around with that so I can use a different terminal and not have that effect. And window, like tell it what like that we're using a dark theme, and when I select things, it saves it to the clipboard. So that's pretty much it. This is all I have. And then if we go and take a look at the font.toml, this is what I have in here. We're using Iosevka. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. But yeah, this is what I got for that. It's pretty simple. For Helix, again, pretty simple here. For our config.toml, I have a lot more things that I sort of played around with it. I'm using the Adwaita Dark theme by default. The Twitch integration that I created for the Stream Manager broke, so which is not that surprising. Twitch keeps on making changes to their API, which breaks things, which is not that great. We need to figure out something for that besides just saying, okay, I'll just go with, JavaScript for the server, which is boring, but maybe we have to do that. Editor. Okay, so a lot of these things are just sort of based like how I like things. So like relative here, you can see that it's the real line number that I'm on and relative for everything else. For some of these, I forget exactly what they do. But like cursor line, I think gives me this entire line, so you can. It's easier for you all to see what line I'm on. I have something that shows. Oh, version control shows down here in the center instead of off to the left. I just felt that was a little bit nicer to look at. Display inline hints. This is false by default, or at least it used to be. So I turned that on. I like the insert to be a bar. Otherwise, it's default. It's the same as the other one. I like to show it very different. Let's see. I don't know if there's too much more that's sort of like interesting. If you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to ask. But this is the config, and then what I have for languages is just this. And I added in Rust for Rust Analyzer, and also that it uses Clippy. And we added in TypeScript, so we can use TypeScript type stuff. And that's all you really need to have Helix work with TypeScript and Rust. Saran Hirok, hello. How are you doing today? Does that answer your question, Rigel? All right, so second part of compression, multiple compression schemes. In this stage, you'll add support for accept encoding headers that contain multiple compression schemes. A client can specify that it supports multiple compression schemes by setting accept encoding to a comma-separated list. Okay, pretty simple. So it's just a stringified comma-separated list. For this extension, assume that your server only supports the gzip compression scheme. For this stage, you don't need to compress the body. You'll implement the compression at a later stage. Okay, so basically they're going to send us a bunch of invalid encodings, but gzip sort of in there, and so we have to grab that out and find it. And so my thoughts on this. Now we're already doing this right here, where we're saying like, okay, if you're encoding to lowercase is just gzip right here. I'm thinking if we ship this off to another function, it could just be true. We kind of need to know what the encoding really is going to be that we're supporting. Now we know it's gzip hard coded, but if I wanted to maybe send, we could do an option. Yeah, okay. So what if I did something like this? Like let like a compression scheme could be an enum. And then I can just check to see if it's one of these. And if it is, return the thing. So I can take an option and map it and return that. Okay. So this would be encoding equals accept encoding. We're going to map. That's only mapping if it's something, right? So we have the encoding in here. This is a stringified list, so I probably first need to... Let's multi-line you. I want to probably split this. Yeah, let's split it. So we'll have like the list of encodings. So requested encodings. Let's just split all of them at comma. That gives us a split on a character. Now, I could map each of those, and I probably want to trim each thing's in there because there might be a space and there might not be. And then I can also to lowercase them. So this would be an encoding again. I want to take the encoding to lowercase, trim to owned, and then let's collect this into probably a vector because we don't know how long this is, of string. Okay, so that gives us the requested encodings. And then I want to see which ones I support. Saran, you're doing good. Excellent. That's good to hear. Lambadoo, hello. How are you doing today? Trim before the lowercase? Oh, yeah, because two lowercase makes it a string anyways. That's a good idea. Not that much. Put you there. Then I don't need the to owned at all. Now we're being smart with our order. I wonder if Clippy would catch that. It should catch that, shouldn't it? Okay, so we got you. Now I need to check to see if any of you are accepted. Now what I could do is I can have a const up here of accepted encodings, right? It's like, what if I did const change my mind. We'll just hard code it in like, like monsters. So I want to filter. Do I want to filter the requested encodings? No, because we're only supporting one. So therefore, we just want to check to see if any of them have it. Isn't there a thing that we can do for that? Filter map, maybe? It's going to be a single thing. No, okay. Any? Ooh, wait. What does any do? Any gives an option back, right? Oh, that could be interesting. Can I flatten an option? All right, so if I do requested encodings, any is only on, okay, so we'll get an iter. tests if any element of the iterator matches a predicate. Okay. So these are encoding, and I want an encoding is equal to gzip. We're gonna have so we're gonna do that. You're still a little bit upset, but that's fine. How do I? No, it's there. What are you set with? If encoding. Oh, right. I don't need you to be it anymore. We're just gonna do let encoding equals option boolean. Right. Okay. So then this is, let's rename this to gzip encoding. That becomes an option bool. And so I want this to become, okay, so if I want it to become, yes, this is going to be interesting, right? Because if I say option bool, so basically it's going to be a none or a sum true. And if I just want this to be a Boolean, can we do unwrap or false? So now this is true or false. Nope. Still want I probably want an if statement here. So then I would say if gzip encoding. So if this is true, write that. Write that out. Okay. So that's fine. And everything else should be exactly the way we expect it to. Now, this is a lot in here. I kind of want to put this into its own function. So if I hand the accept encoding, which is an option string, oh, so I don't have any other functions in here. That's fine. We'll do one here. Function is gzip encoding, maybe. Is gzip encoding requested? To be extremely explicit, this takes in encodings, which is an option, the string inside, and we're going to respond with a Boolean. I forgot how many lines up it was. Okay, so I'm going to take in all of that stuff, and so I just grab you here, which is going to be that accept encoding unwrap or, so we're just going to delete you, throw you in there. Huh, I got an F in there too? Doesn't seem right. Whoa, wait. Okay, I apparently grabbed that all completely wrong. Okay, let's try this again. So delete you. We'll do function is gzip encoding requested. Okay, much better. So we get you become the requested encodings, and then, okay, so you spawn. What are you upset about now? Requested encodings, expected. Oh, because I forgot to mention that you return a Boolean. That's why. Okay, now you're happy, which means is gzip coding requested. And we pass it the accept encoding. Okay, perfect. So that gives us that. If gzip encoding, we do that. Writing a CRLF for headers. Okay, so this should be good. No errors, no warnings. Let's go ahead and test this one. Wait, is there an unwrap or false default? Or is that what I did? Is there like a different unwrap or? Unwrap or default might actually work, wouldn't it? Because default for a Boolean is false. You go with what I did? Okay. All right, let's see if this works. We have response. Okay, so get what did we do? Okay, we're handling incoming, handling multiple accept encoding requests. All right. You prefer to be explicit for Booleans. It is also slightly shorter. That's true. Okay, and that worked. Passed. Okay, gzip compression. In this stage, you'll add support for gzip compression, and that just links to gzip.org. Actually, both these link to gzip.org. Okay. Okay, so in this stage, you'll add support for gzip compression to your HTTP server. The tester will execute your program like this. Then the tester will send a GET request to that. The request will contain an accept encoding header that includes gzip. Your server's response must contain the following, and then the body set to the gzip compressed string parameter. So therefore, it must be, obviously compressed. To check that your compressed body is correct, you can run echo, so this entire thing, but we need gzip. What what should we use? There's gzip's not in the standard library, right? Plate 2? Let's take a look. A streaming compression, decompression library, deflate base streams in Rust. Okay. Gzip, that's excellent. Okay, so we should be pretty simple because we don't require anything else. Let's go ahead and we'll cargo add this. I don't think we need to add any of the features, at least not just from looking at that. But okay, so now that we have that in our send response, and we have accept encoding, sorry, we have gzip encoding as a Boolean. So, okay, we have our body here. We just need to encode this, right? And so what if we did, so what if we had another function here? So we just said function gzip encode. So theoretically later on we could add new functions to encode more things. So we've taken the body, which is going to be a string, and I think it's a string back that we get. I don't know. I'll just say string, and it'll yell at us if we're wrong. I bet, however, it's going to be a result string. We need to, I probably need, yeah, we need to restart our LSP. Okay, so Flate2, let's see if we can figure this out without actually reading how to do it. Can I just do gzip? Can I just go straight to gzip? Gzip encode. I take a stir and I get a result string. Okay, so gzip and wait, no, that's my own. It's my own function. Yeah. Okay, so I have to go through Flate. Flate2. Compress. That's zlib. Hold on. Okay, fine. I'll look at the instructions. Okay, so they use Flate2 write zlib encoder. So I want probably a gzip encoder. Is it gz encoder? A gz streaming encoder. That's probably what it is, right? That will emit compressed data to the underline writer. Wait, to the underline writer? Where is that writing to? Is that just into the vector? Okay. Okay, so if I do that, I wonder if I even need this anymore then. Because it might be even simpler if, well, okay, so this is just a vector of bytes, right? So if I use a gz writer, gz encoder. So they're suggesting we do new. Creates a new encoder which will use the given compression level. The data written to the return encoder will be compressed and then written to the stream W. I could pass it into the stream. I mean, because if that's true, Can I just do that? Can I just hand it the TCP stream and it writes directly to it? Because if that's the case, then maybe I won't do that at all. And we'll just say something like this. If gzip is encoding is enabled, I want to gz encoder new pass it the stream let's do best. Why not? And that gives me a gz encoder, right? So and then I think we just write all to it and then convert that into bytes. So I do encoder, write all, body as bytes. As bytes just gives me that context, writing compressed body. You probably need to be mutable. Okay. Otherwise, we're doing it the old way. Did I lose the stream? I lost the stream. I mean, can I do something like that? I don't think I could do that. Do you need to take ownership of it? It's an ownership of a writer, isn't it? Can I clone it? Oh, I could. Oh, make it mutable. Okay, so if I do that, then we go find where we create the stream. Huh? Stream is already a mutable reference. Did I clone the stream? I'm not in a function, right? No, I'm not. Oh, wait. It's a double. Okay, hold on. So you're happy there, and then you're unhappy because borrow move value stream. Why am I moving you in? Oh, don't forget to call finish. Good call. So we do that. Coder finish. Finishing gzip encoding. Why is stream being moved in? Stream is a mutable reference. Does gz encoder take ownership of this? The error is borrow move value stream. and then it's saying that it got moved in here. Basic Coder, hello. How are you doing today? What framework are we using? None. This is a challenge where we're making an HTTP server from scratch. Is that a real error? Good question. Is it a real error? Let's find out. Yes, that is a real error. Are they cloning it inside? Can I clone a TCP stream and have it still work as expected? I mean, because I could just clone it here. No, I can't. Okay, so clone actually, yeah, so we can't clone it. You can be dumb and do a stream equals output of finish. Stream equals output of wait, does it return? Does finish return the stream? It does. Returning the underlined writer once the encoding is done. I think that it's actually, I don't even think that's a dumb. I think that we just have to do that. So we just have to, basically we take the stream and we're sending it on back. And because this is all together in a sort of like a synchronous thing going up and going down the line, we should be fine. Cannot mutate immutable variable stream. Because stream isn't mute stream. But where? Oh, I see what you mean. Do that. Wait a second. So if I do that, let me try this again. Require that stream is borrowed for lifetime 1. The stream is borrowed here. Oh, okay. So that works. I needed to, okay. So I was like, oh yeah, it has a mutable thing. But when I'm passing in, that's why the borrow checker got upset, because I was passing in the variable pointing towards the mutable reference to it. But I needed to make I needed a mutable reference passing in. Okay, that's fun. T Kettle Drone, hello. How are you doing today? Wrap with an arc would be a good idea, but I think because we don't control the gz encoder content itself, it wouldn't know to unwrap it. But maybe it would, because it is a generic. That might have worked too. But I think if this works, then we're golden. So if I can run our server. Okay, so what is this? 4221, I think. Let's test this. So if we do a post to 4221, where is it going to send it? Don't update. Okay, so it's just going to send it to echo ABC. Okay. Oh, because I think this goes into the body, right? Is this a GET request? Oh yeah, okay. So it's simple. It's a GET request to echo ABC. And then for headers, I need... What are you? Why aren't you helping me there? Gzip, something else, blah. Okay, that got me ABC back. Oh, wait. Could I not do... Okay. Except encoding gzip. I bet I can't look at you because I need to see the raw. How do I show me no data? Okay, fine. Let's just use... What is it going to be? Curl? Actually, they actually show me what to use, don't they? We can just copy it. I don't need to send this to hex. I can just curl, and I just want to see... Well, sure. Whatever. It's going to be fine. That's it, right? I mean, I think that's okay. So that's our ABC. 3 bytes of data. And if I did this with ABC, DEF, okay. So I think this is working. And then if we do, instead of gzip, if I did gzip, ABC, other, what, it's still the same thing. And we're still getting content encoding gzip. So I think this is working as expected. Okay. Let's go ahead and send this up and see if it works. So this is going to be, we are encoding the response body with gzip if requested. And of course, it takes longer this time. Ooh, okay. Failed to decode gzip, failed to decompress data, expected, unexpected end of file, test failed. Okay. So I try to do the finish. Should I just send this to a vector? Maybe the writer is like a little bit weirded out by everything. Do you send another CRLF? That shouldn't be any different, right? Because like I'm just taking whatever the body that I was previously sending out here, and we're just writing that out to the stream. Otherwise, we're writing a compressed out, right? What happened to my finish? Oh, I lost my finish. That would potentially do it too. Okay, encoder finish. So this is finishing encoding. Okay, so if we just do this, you're happy. All right, let's see if that works. Unexpected end of file. Okay, so that didn't work. So do you think that we should add in a CRLF only when we have the gzip? What is the curl output now? Good question. I mean, I guess I should start the server. That's our A, B, C, D, E, F. We don't get an unexpected end of file, but I bet. Okay, can I curl? Okay, so instead of hex dump, let's throw this into, this is a gzip. So let's throw this into just out dot. It's just gz, right? File gz, gzip compressed data, truncated, okay, and if I it's not unzip, right? Like what command is it to undo the gzip? Is it it's not, I wouldn't use tar for this. It would it be unzip? G unzip? Oh, G unzip. Unexpected end of file compress failed. Okay. Live coding. Hello. Thank you for that. And also, yes, that worked and also didn't work here, but it didn't work in the same way that the tests don't work. So that's good. Okay. So I wonder if I need to, ooh, error. Encoding gzip whatever. About to parse body, got body none. Panicked at library line 29. Finished encoding. Broken pipe. So that, okay, so finish failed. Got it. I wonder if this writer isn't, can we not use the TCP writer? You're using a vecnu. I wonder if we just use a vecnu. Because what if I did something like this? What if we shadow the body? Or should I shadow the body, or should I do like our new or like our output? Okay, so if I have our output equals this, so if gzip encoding, we create a new encoder, we do the same thing. A vecnu, new vector. We write all this into the vector. We then finish you and not return you, and that becomes a vec of U8. Your gut says body should be raw bytes if it's GZ encoded, but you're paying 3% attention. Okay. The thing is that it's been working with a string when we send it as a string when we use this writer. Because we take in so if we have a body that we're responding with, which is this string, previously we were just writing this out using the TCP writer, and it was fine. Everything was working as expected. You become a vec of U8 or a string. Oh, that's not going to like that. Okay. Just to make things easier on me. If gzip encoding, we do this, that gives us that. Encoder finish. This would be the bytes. This is our encoded body. And then I want to write to the stream can I just do encoded body like this? No, it probably needs to be like that. Will the vector do out, or am I going to have to give it... I'm going to have to do something to that. Yeah, you're upset. If I debug print you, that seems like a terrible idea. To debug print this as a response. Oh, don't write all? Oh. Just write instead. Do they have a write? They have a write. They don't have a write macro though. Write a buffer into this writer. So I could do that. Here, okay, before, I want to try this first, one change at a time. So we're going to try the write all, and then we'll go back and try the write after this. So if let's see if this works here. So we run our server. Recurl u. No crash. That's good. Not in gzip format. ASCII text with no line terminators. That is not fully written. That's not what we wanted. Okay, so we could try the write. So, okay, you were thinking about, instead of the vec, doing the mutable reference, the stream, the TCP stream still, and then we just do a write. Body as bytes, compressing the data. This gives us the stream back, so we don't care about this. Finish you, don't write again. So if we do that, oh, ignore you? Too late. I've already gotten this far. We might as well try it. Okay, same finished encoding broken pipe. So same problem. On line 45, Japfo, hello. How are you doing today? On line 45, you were writing the debug formatted buffer into the stream. This should be this body. So on line 45, we're writing this one. Just the main body string. Oh, okay. Oh, not anymore. Yeah. All right. So, and then write all didn't work. I mean, I could write all. What's it? BRN, just to see if it is the new line. Avoid the write macro and write all the bytes to the stream. But still write to a vec. We could do that. Let's try this. Because this was another idea that was suggested, is just add a CRLF and see if that makes things better. Which, I mean, maybe, possibly. No. Finish encoding broken pipe. So it's these got added in there correctly, but finish encoding was our problem. So not you. Okay, so next idea, still write to a vector. So instead of a stream like this, we do a brand new vector that's going to write the body into the vector. When we finish you, we're going to have the, this is the encoded body. Set up as this. This is now a vector of u. And then avoid the write macro and write all the bytes to the stream. Okay, so can I do stream? Oh, I could do stream write. Attempts to write an entire buffer into this writer. So if I do stream write all, pass it the coded body. So writing gzip encoded bytes to stream. Let's see if that's happy. No errors. Gzip compressed data. Is it gunzip? Gunzip. Unexpected end file uncompress failed. But it didn't error out here. Do we need to finish in here? Maybe we need to finish here. Oh, maybe we need to flush it? Okay, let's flush it. Unexpected end of file still. But still no error when we try to finish that. So that's good, I guess, or when we try to flush it. Okay. If I have the vec of U8, do I want to just make that? Okay, what are we supposed to get? Ray March, hello, how are you doing today? More like a vec of you, and am I right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so echo and uncompressed pass it to gzip, pass that to hexdump-c. Oh, you're starting your sabbatical. Congratulations. That should be fun, right? I am not starting a sabbatical, but we're doing pretty good. We're at the very last part of the challenge for the create your own HTTP server in Rust, which is great. Let's try their thing. So if I do echo without the new line, A, B, C, D, E, F, and we're going to pipe that to gzip and pipe that to hexdump-c. This is what we're supposed to be getting out. And when I curl and pipe this to hexdump, one F 8B 0800, I just get 2 more 00s and not the rest of it. That is wrong. Which GZ encoder am I using? Yeah, that could be a thing. I am using right GZ encoder. Is there multiple types in the Flate 2 crate? So it's just GZ encoder new. Here, let's try not compression best. Let's try compression. Okay, let's try compression none and see if maybe that's better. That didn't change anything here. It's still failing to put everything in here. It's also still not erroring out. But is there like another GZ encoder for us to use? Like I want under right. There's only this one, right? Or do I want deflate? No, I just want GZ encoder, right? I'm not really sure. Like try finish or like finish was working. It was failing before, but we got it working now. This doesn't say that it needs a feature. Not in here either. Note that this function may not be suitable to call in a situation where the underlying stream is an asynchronous IO stream. To finish a stream, the try finish or shutdown method should be used instead. Huh, so maybe we should do try finish instead? Oh, I see. Okay, so we do that. That finishes encoding. But we need still need to do finish here. To get that out and then write that out. Okay, let's try you. Nah, same response here. What if instead of the vec, we go back to stream? I just try finish and then we don't do that. Any progress? No, not any progress. And then for the GZ encoder, because I wasn't sure if you got that, we are we're just using this, the Flate 2 write GZ encoder, which is the only one that I found in a Flate 2 crate. So I'm just sort of playing around with different things because I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be doing, but okay, that did fail. So when I'm attempting to write to the TCP stream directly, it fails. Is that context same as .expect? Basic coder, no. So it's not exactly the same as .expect. It's adding a message that I get. So you can actually see this here, this caused by. That caused by is it picking it up from the dot context that I do. So it's telling anyhow, this is what the context of this error that is being passed up by, and it's sort of collecting those as they go along. So that's what the context is. Normally you don't get those unless you're using something based upon anyhow. And I still need to use the question mark, so that's why it's not exactly the same as expect. Okay, so yeah, I think taking off. I mean, we could also do fast. Compression fast. Okay, so we tried compression none, we tried compression fast. We can try compression fast into a vector. We write all the bytes from the body into the vector. We probably do an encoder try finish. And then, of course, get the encoded body when we finish. And then we write all on FleshU. We can try that. But we still get the same thing, which is not enough data coming back. Because if we do our echo again, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what we're supposed to actually be getting. And it starts correct, which the first 4 bits are correct. Or byte? Is it bytes? No, it's 4 bits. Is Flate 2 not what we want to use then? I'm not writing both bodies out, so that's not something that's happening. And then I'm attempting to take the vector and write this out here. Okay, so here's one thing we can do. Let's try printing out the vector. So let's try let's do a print line finished encoding body with gzip. And I'll throw in the encoded body like that. All right, let's make this full screen. No, I wanted that full screen and a window up here. I mean, okay, right? Is my level screwing things up? Let's try none. That gives me a few more things than last time, but should be fine. Okay, so if I take you out and okay, so this is gonna be weird. Can I cat into out.gz you? This seems like a terrible idea. File out ASCII text. No, it doesn't like that. Let's see. Sir, can uploading files in Rust without knowing the field name, like dynamically add multiple input field for file upload? This feature is available in Node.js, multi-plug any upload. Yes, you can get that because like if when you're uploading a file, it's basically just like a string that you're getting from the HTTP server that has like, you know, various data and everything else. You have to parse that into some kind of struct that then you can get the name out of. So it's just extra work for you, or if you use a library that sort of figures that out for you. So as long as it's some kind of standardized thing, there's some library that's going to work for you. So the answer is yes. It can be done. Also, Pramila, hello. How are you doing today? If I try to unzip this, yeah, not in gzip format. That's not going to work. Oh, it added. I have the commas in there. What gzip encoder were we using again? Flate 2. This one. And that seems to be not working for us. Read or write? Right, because we're not reading gzip. We're trying to create a gzip and then send that as a response to the client. suppose if we go take a look at gzip, do you have any suggestions for libraries? zlib, a free software written in C in which you can use to read and write gzip files and memory streams. So wait, zlib works? Hold on. If zlib works, can we just use zlib encoder? Maybe zlib encoder will work. And I think that's a similar thing here. I think it works the same. So zlib encoder. Okay, zlib encoder new, back compression none. Everything else is the same. Different data, but still ending. That has different stuff. But no errors. Okay. I don't know if I need to, that could cause weirdness too. See, encoding the body, and then we're trying to write it all to the stream from the coded body. Okay. Maybe write instead of write all. We can try it with that too. I mean, so that's okay. So this is what we're trying to send out. Non-gzip format. Where do you set the content length header? We set the content length header up here before we do all that. Yeah, right here. Now what's interesting, so this is, maybe this is, add the content length of gzip encoded data. So yeah, looking at this, this is, the content length is now this. So that's, yeah, so we need to find out. Okay, so basically we need a new body. and we'll write that out here. Now this makes me how do I want to deal with that? Because if we are, the entire length is different based upon if we're doing gzip or not. Sylvie, are you here? You want to help with gzip encoding? Send the content length last and different in each branch. I can't send it last because it has to come first due to how the responses work. That's a big boy. Yeah, Zilpy's he's like 3 years old now. It has to come, I guess, because it's just a header. Yeah, it could come right before the body. But we have to do the CRLF for the headers before the body comes in. Okay, you're done, Zilby? Okay. Stratacat, hello. How are you doing today? You should know the content length before you send the response. Yeah. Well, because like I'm streaming, like we're streaming this back, so I'm writing out content length here. Which is part of, oh, because I'm creating a response. Where does response come from? Is it? Oh, it's this right here. Yeah. So I wonder if we should. Yeah, okay, so somebody like that. We should probably encode in the response object or in the struct. And then body is what it is. Add an optional size argument. Because this is getting the length of the body as bytes. And it already is optional. Oh, but it's doing the actual header itself here. That's why. So Zilby came up here to say hi. He immediately went downstairs, and I just heard him press his button for food. He's begging for food. Now he's meowing downstairs because I didn't follow him down. How dare I to give him food when he wants it? And it's 45 minutes before lunchtime. Add in one branch and call it with some vec length and other with none. Well, yeah, I think the big thing though is that I need, if I want to get the length of it after the response. Okay, so wow. How am I creating a response? Oh, so in each one, it creates the response like this. That's fine. Okay, that's okay. So I'm thinking right here, what if I were to do, like we own response, right? What if I made you mutable? And I did something like response dot encode body. And we hand it the request. I would probably context and just say encoding body like that. So what if I did this? Now you're yelling at me because you don't actually have encode body. And then we did the encoding if it wanted to and set that to be the body. Not very efficient, but that would work. Well, I would only encode the body if we're encoding the body, right? Like, so it's, then we would move all of this encoding stuff to be at this point. I think this might, okay, I think this might work. Except when we send out and write to the stream, the body excuse me. Okay, so just send the header in this if else. I just need to know what the size of it is, right? I need to know what the size of the encoded body after it's been encoded. Which means I need to have encoded it before we hit this line. Like the full body needs to have been encoded. And to keep the body a string, okay. That's fine. Okay, so here's a response. What was it? It was like the request. It's the request. We're going to turn a result. And probably with nothing in it. So we do something like that. And then we just check to see if the request so I throw accept coding, gzip encoding, we put this into the request. That's probably what it is. So I need to grab you. So these in here first. So we grab encoding, we get you. Gzip encoding, we do that, and then I'm going to kind of want to do a default in this, but I don't think I can for some of these. Gzip encoding, so that would probably come and start at false, but then we're going to encode body. So we'll do self dot gzip encoding. equals that. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so this is going to be if request dot no field on response. Okay. Okay, and then content length headers. So then we're gonna have some bytes in here. So if I do pub encoded body is gonna be a option vec of U8. Like that. Then in content length header, we're making this not great. It might be unnecessary or wrong, but add check for written gzip and decompress and compare to actual stream. Well, because it's not I don't need to decompress, right? I think what the problem is, I think I actually know what the problem is. When I'm not sending, I'm actually writing the right number of things out. I'm telling it to write 3 or 6 things out when I need to be telling it to just write the full amount of the body out, which needs to be the full, it needs to be the full length of the encoded body. Which means I need to know what that is. So I need to encode it up there. So let's see, content length header. Okay, so now once I've encoded it, it's just the vector. So it's either we're doing the body or we're doing that other one because, you know, fun. So if let some body is that yeah, and this returns an option string because it's none if there's no body. Okay, so if there's no body, we're returning none, right? But also if self.gzip encoding, right? Okay, so let length equals if self.gzip encoding if we're not gzip encoding, get the body of the bytes. Otherwise, we're going to return self.encoded body length. Oh, but that's an option. Unwrapper default length. Cannot move out of self-encoded body. As ref, maybe? The trait bound default is not satisfied. Oh, okay. Sitsu, you're suggesting that I send the header in this if else and remove the control F. Oh, just question mark. Yeah, that's a good point. Because it is an option, a returning option. Oh, but cannot move. Can I do an as ref here? Stop. I'm consistently doing one keyboard stroke down from what I need to be. That's a fun one. As ref. Yeah, okay. That was a good one. Okay. So we do U, that gets U. Otherwise we get to U, that gets our length. And then we set that to be the right length now. Yeah, don't worry about it yet. Okay, we have a ton of errors to deal with, but that's going to be shortly. All right, so then we get to the body. So if response.gzip encoding, I actually want to do all this stuff in the encoder thing. To get the encoded body, we want to do this down here. Let the encoded body, so this becomes self dot encoded body equals U. This becomes self dot body as it's an option as ref. And you get the body out. Okay, so self body as ref. Otherwise, encode body should return an early just okay. Nothing happens. Right? So we have you. Now you're not self.body anymore. Now you're just body as bytes. This is fine. You're just trying to be too smart. I don't know. I might be trying to be too smart too. We can all be trying to be too smart, right? Okay, so we get you self-encoded body, expected, an option. Wait, so we get the coder, finish, context. Oh, option. So it becomes a sum. Like that. Okay. And now, okay, so if response, gzip encoding, write those headers. I don't need to print that line out anymore. Okay, so write all, and we're going to do response encoded body, but now in this case, transforms the option into a result. Do I want to do an okay or else or okay or? Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Yeah. In this case, yeah. If this was like tower or hyper or something, and we're trying to make this like really performant to work with everything, then yeah, you're right. We would want to not do any of that stuff. We want to make that, but we're trying to make this just work decently okay with what we got. Okay, so if I convert that, wrap the expression, result okay. I guess I want to, do I want to turn this into an error? I kind of do. Okay, or, and then an error. I'm gonna have an anyhow error. Oh, wait, can I do an error? Isn't there like an anyhow? Anyhow, this is missing encoded body. Okay, so I write all, the encoded body, convert the option into an error, use the anyhow missing encoded body as the error, question mark all that stuff so it goes up, and then we send that out, and then we flush it. Okay. And then we write the normal body out if it's otherwise. Okay, so if we do that, you're not being used. And then, of course, we have a ton of these errors because gzip encoding needs to be, we're just going to set that to be false to begin with, because I didn't set this to be a default thing. So a builder would be better for this. Like to turn the response into a builder would absolutely be the right way to do this. But this is also the very last challenge, so I'm not sure I want to do that. And not just copy you, find all these errors, and just paste these in. Because technically, this will work just fine. Even though this is not like the best idea for like a real project. But okay, no more errors. So if we now run you, not in gzip format. Because it's now zlib. Because yeah, oops. Our response. Let's go back to using gzip encoder. But everything else should be the same. Okay, so if we file out gzip compressed data, max speed truncated. We did not get that before. We've gone from dry to ARI. Always repeat yourself. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't we use ARI? We just need to make always repeat yourself very like, really cool acronym like dry, and then it's going to catch on. Okay, gunzip. There it goes. There it goes. And so now if we take a look, we have, where did it go? I had out.gz. Did it remove the out? Okay. Does gzip remove the file? That's strange. I was expecting in place. Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought that it was just going to be an out file and there's still going to be an out.gz. So like my brain was going like, what did I do? But okay. So let's go ahead and remove out. We don't need that anymore. We get commit. Oh, so now if we want to test this in here, this should work. So if we send accept encoding gzip, yeah, we get this out here. We can see accept content encoding gzip. And if we look at the raw data shows me it already. Oh, I can't actually see the encoded amount. That's too bad. Okay. So let's see. Git commit am, and then we're just gonna say properly setting the content length header when encoding with gzip. I did not test without encoding. We probably should test that. So if I just remove that header, it still works. Excellent. Okay. Let's find out if we finished the HTTP project. We did. Okay. So back here, mark the stage as complete, and that's it. Challenge completed. It says only 10% of users that attempt this challenge end up completing all the stages. Oh, that's too bad. But there we go. I am at the top of the list of recent attempts and fully completed. And that's it. If we go back to our front page, we now have 2 of these challenges that are completed. Excellent. All right. So that is pretty low. You wonder why? Probably because like there's some parts there that get a little bit hard near the end. And there's a lot of people that you'll start going on and you'll get like a decently far into it, and then it gets sort of hard and you're like, oh, I'll come back to this later. And then, we may not. Like life happens sometimes. So I wouldn't necessarily be negative towards people that don't like complete all the challenges, but also it's one of those things where like if you're actually trying to learn from this and you're doing it, do stick with it. Try to get on it, stay on it. If it gets really hard, don't start something else. Like go take a break, but come back to it. Also find a community that can help you out. Okay, so it is 11:40. Initially, I was thinking that if I finished this early enough today, I would switch to the next project today, but I think that I'm not going to. Is that a sync HTTP server? No. Well, yes and no at the same time. I put each request into a thread. So we have a I don't even have a thread pool. It just creates unlimited threads until my entire system crashes. But basically, if I have like 20 different requests to our server at the same exact time, it's going to handle them all simultaneously. Now, it's on my own system, so I'm only running one process of this, which means kind of, it's sort of, it's one of those like how threads work type things of like whether or not it's truly sync or async, but it's a sync server running in unlimited threads, which is not a great idea, but it's not real, so it's fine. We tested that earlier by having some sleeps in there. I suppose that if I sent it a big enough body and I did the slow type of compression, that would be the same thing, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, so next time, Thursday, we're going to come back and it's going to be a brand new project. So I I'll give you all the heads up of what that's going to be. That's why the numbers are so low. Yeah, exactly. The Thursday project, we're going to be going back into Authland. But we're also going to be jumping into a fun AI project. So I've been playing around a lot with Olama recently, and sort of like wrapping my head around a lot of different things. And I have some ideas for what we can do that's going to be really fun. And with what is it called? It's Fusion Auth. They allow you to bring your own or implement your own hashing algorithm, which obviously they mean for you to implement a hashing algorithm that like can use in a library, not like actually implement your own, but they have you write Java for that. So we'd have to write some Java code for this. But because it's Java code and it's arbitrary Java code, I should be able to write any kind of like IO inside of there, or maybe like a call to a server. So the idea is we're going to implement a hashing algorithm using AI. I already talked to the CEO of FusionAuth, told him my plan, and he laughed and said, "Sounds good. Let's go. Let's do it." So they're perfectly fine with doing this. It's basically going to be the best worst hashing algorithm you could possibly hope for. And I'm hoping that I can make at least one security researcher cry. That's the plan. All right. We'll talk more about that on Thursday, or if you want to just chat about it, we can discuss it on Discord later. So with that, I think we're pretty much all done for the day. I'm going to go ahead and feed Zilby because he was crying downstairs and is begging me for food. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then the rest of it, I don't really have anything else. So yeah, I don't see anybody online big right now. So let's go ahead and just end it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will be back Thursday morning around 9:30 a.m. And then we're going to work on that AI hashing algorithm project, which is going to be great. I guess it's not really an algorithm, but we'll talk about it then and how AI type stuff works. I don't know. It's probably going to be a multiple day project because we're going to have to go in a bunch of stuff, and I haven't programmed in Java in forever, and I'm going to do no prep for it whatsoever. So we're going to relearn Java code live. It's going to be a thing. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all Thursday. Bye.